Howdy folks, our permaculture newbies here. I've been promising you guys an update for a couple of months, so let's go ahead and get started with that. First, I'd like to say to John Wick, who's been commenting on my videos, yes, you were correct. The solar panels came from Santan Solar. I still haven't had a chance to get over there and buy a few more like I intended, but I'm not going to withhold that information any longer. John Wick, you were correct. Um, so let's get started with the rest. So as you can see, exterior wise, we have finished the exterior mudding, but very little of the exterior stucco. Mainly it's just been a time thing. As I stated in my last video a couple months ago, it's been a really busy time for me at work, so I just haven't had the time to participate. My wife and father-in-law have been doing other projects around the house, so things are just kind of fallen by the wayside. We did get the interior done, and we're living in there now, and I'll show you that in just a moment. John Wick had another question. He asked how my solar charge controller was holding up, and you can also see this is storage for other projects right now as well. Charge controller is holding up well. We're just getting into the really hot season here in Arizona though, so we'll see. You can hear the cooling fans running. Yeah, this does have a fair bit of ventilation, so I think we're going to be fine. So far, we have not overtaxed the system at all. In fact, we're only getting the batteries down to about 85% at the most. But as I said, we're getting into the hot season, so we're going to be running that swamp cooler quite a bit. So we'll see. But so far, everything's great. We got the enclosure painted, mostly painted anyway. You can see where it kind of stops, and then up there hasn't quite been the paint hasn't quite been finished yet. But we get the wires and conduit. We have a T-Mobile booster. We use T-Mobile out here, and with the metal roofs, our cell phone service inside is not that great unless we use a booster. So, but the booster works great. We have good T-Mobile signal outside, and with the booster we have good T-Mobile signal inside as well. So come around and you can see, like I said, exterior mudding has not been completed yet. I've got this all finished. Open it up. Come on inside. Pardon the mess. We are still, I am still working on things, so this shelf is kind of just my project shelf. Looks pretty ugly. I haven't done I talked about using maker pipe and maybe doing shelves. I haven't done that. We got this metal shelf here last year at IKEA for, I don't know, like 15 bucks or something like that. It's actually worked out really well. We think we're just gonna next trip to Phoenix, when we go and get solar panels as well from Santan Solar, we'll probably just buy a bunch of these, and the plan is to line the walls all the way across with those shelves. Power is a 1,000-watt inverter. They'll show you in just a minute. Here's where the power goes from here out to exterior outlet that we're going to use for exterior power, probably a washing machine. I have a 30 amp. I'm sorry, that's not right. It's a 20 amp switch, I think. Anyway, it's a high amp switch, so I can shut that outlet off entirely. So with this off, there's no power outside. Swamp cooler works now. So that's the fan control. This is the pump control. You can hear it pump in there. There's two pumps out there. There's the pump for the swamp cooler itself that runs the water across the cooler pad. And then there's also a pump connected to the float valve that keeps the reservoir full. So that turns both of them on at the same time. This one here is fan direction. So with it closed, it blows air in. With switch open, it pulls air out. So under normal circumstances, we would just leave that one in, turn that on to turn the pumps on, and then turn the fan on. Sorry for the jump cut. My wife came in, so I had to talk to her for a minute. So we have a television. This television was the television that was in the cabin, and it's actually going to go back in the cabin because I have something much better, which I'll show you in just a minute here. There's our interior booster. And I had a video briefly about a desk, laptop desk, with a poster, fold down desk. It didn't work out really well, and I actually deleted the video because I didn't like the video either. We've decided for a laptop, this actually works really well. You can see we've got our laptop here and the stool, the folding stool. So when my wife needs to work on her laptop, she just puts it here on the end table. So come inside here, and here's our electrical closet. 1,000-watt inverter, pure sine wave inverter, and then our 12-volt outlets. Wiring still probably doesn't look that great. I may clean it up some more, but honestly right now this is good enough for me. So yeah, that's that. Come on back out. And of course the Betsy Ross flag headboard, which I built myself, and I'm very proud of that. I've seen those things on Etsy and YouTube, and always really loved them. So I made one myself. Why a Betsy Ross flag, you might ask? And mainly because I wasn't confident in my ability to paint the stars well enough, or I've seen some people burn them in. And these are actually nails, nailed on stars that I got off eBay. But these were like $2 a piece or something. I think a little more than that even. So to try to do 50, it would have been really expensive. So I ended up doing 13 instead, and doing a Betsy Ross flag. So come over here, my side of the bed. We've got bedside reading lamp. Of course, 12-volt outlets, charge our phones. We try to do as much as we can with 12-volt, just because, as you may know, inverters are not super efficient. So anything we can do without turning the inverter on, the better. And we've got a bedside fan. And between the swamp cooler and these fans, it keeps it nice and cool in here. I have a infrared thermometer for work. I'm going to have to bring home here in the next week or two, now that it's heating up here in Arizona, and measure the temperatures coming out of the swamp cooler. But I can tell you just by feel, it does cool the room down significantly. So ceiling lighting is those same jelly jar lights that I've done videos on in the past. It's just a 12-volt light in a mason jar. In fact, this one's probably easier to show you. There, it's just a jelly jar light, a little 12-volt LED bulb in there. And then walk-in closet. And let me show you the what we're doing instead of a television. So this is what we're doing instead of a television. The heart of the system is an Insignia Pico projector, coupled to a just a generic Android TV box, tethered to my the internet on my cell phone, the hotspot. And that's a 72-inch screen, which is about as big as you'd really want to go on a little Pico projector like this. But those are both connected to the 12-volt solar directly, so no inverter is required. And yeah, so we've got a little home theater. Oh, for sound, I've got an old car stereo and just these dual indoor-outdoor speakers, which, I mean, they're not rockin' speakers by any means. Neither is the stereo a really high-end stereo. It's just a Kenwood, but it seems to do really well. Yeah, that's my video on screen right now, and I'm mentioning that because you will not see me show you what television, Game of Thrones, or anything crazy like that looks like on this screen, because I've been bitten in the past by that. I built a home theater. I used to build home theaters for a living, if you guys didn't know that. I built a home theater in my own house using budget materials because I couldn't afford the kind of home theaters that we built. The kind of home theaters I built professionally. and I was really proud of it and how little I'd spent. And I was showing it off on YouTube, and Whose Line Is It Anyway happened to be playing in the background as I was talking about the theater. And I got a copyright strike from the WB. I disputed it for incidental capture and lost. And for years, my monetization, back when I had monetization, my monetization on that video was going to the effing WB. So, yeah, you can't see me right now, but I'm giving the WB a rude gesture right now. A middle finger, the F word, whatever you want to say. I'm not going to say it on here, but screw the WB for taking my monetization because I happen to have one of their videos playing in the background just like this. You couldn't even hear it. And it's Whose Line Is It Anyway? There's no subtitles, and you couldn't even tell it was them. It was just incidental capture, and I lost the dispute. So screw them. Yeah, that's enough of my rant. So yeah, anytime I show off stuff in the future, I'm gonna have my own damn videos playing in the background, just in case you're wondering why. So yeah, that Insignia projector. Just a little Pico projector. This is an NS or NRS 60 or something like that. One of the bottom of the line. I may upgrade to HD at some point. This is HD Ready or WXVGA or something like that. It's not actually HD, but it'll scale an HD image. And it does all right. I've been very happy with it so far. So here's a better shot with the lights on. You can see it. You see the screen. Just covers up the windows. And when we're not watching anything, screen just folds up. Okay, so let me take you outside, and I'll take you around back, and I'll show you what the swamp cooler looks like from outside running. Okay, so from the outside, you've got a hose just going to the IBCs up to this pump. You can see it does leak a little bit. That's just that pump does run a lot of water. Almost wish I could turn the speed down a little bit just so it didn't pump quite as much water, but I don't know if I can. But anyway, so yeah, it's one of the blue synthetic pads. You can see the water dripping there. And so if you watched my video on constructing this, you saw that I had a little float valve here. So this pump is just coming up to the float valve, so we never have to worry about there being water in the reservoir or not. You can see it does leak. As I said, what we're going to do, I just finalized all this today. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get some of this plastic sheeting and put it between the swamp cooler and the platform here, just because this is wood and this actually goes into the wall to hold it in place. So I don't want it rotting away. So I'm actually going to cover this all up with plastic so that it doesn't get wet and rotted. I just haven't done that yet. I think that's where I'm going to end it. As always, thanks for watching. If you like what you see here, please like and subscribe. Thanks.